Welcome back to another episode of OpenEnds, wherever you're tuning in from. Thank you for being here. I'm here with a good bro of mine, Taz, for a conversation that will go wherever it needs to. Let's chat. Cheers, bro.
Chipala.
Thanks for being on OpenEnds, my bro. So, bro, introduce yourself, my bro.
Yep, kia ora pala. Ka hoki nei au ki te mauri o tōku iwi, kei kawerau ko te ke te pautama, kei waitaha nui ko i rākewa ko tūpai ko te whakakau wāriki, kei o takaora ko te wai o tōku tipuna o tūwhareto i te au pauri. Hei whakohoa ki tāku moi e kōkō, ko i ai are, ko Taz Takirau ahau, no kawerau ahau pala.
Oh, beautiful, bro. Beautiful. It's a privilege to have you on OpenEnds, bro. You're a man that I thought of with stories, just who you are, bro, that inspired me, and I know that would inspire so many. So you're definitely a man that came to mind when I started OpenEnds, and it's a privilege to have you on here.
Pala.
So how's things been?
Yeah, good. Busy. Life is good.
If I was to ask you, actually, let me rephrase that. If I was to say, how are you? You can't say good.
Okay, cool.
What would you say?
How am I? I'm in the best place that I'm meant to be. Well, actually, I'm in the perfect place I'm meant to be in my life at the moment. Yeah. According to purpose. Yeah, I definitely know I'm on the path of my purpose being on this earth. So yeah, that's how I am, bro. So it's pretty. Yeah, it's an amazing journey. Yeah.
Oh, they say. Well, actually, Denzel Washington said, bro. He said, the most two important days in your life is the day you were born and the day you realize why. You know, and I think that there's a lot of people in this world that pass away not knowing what they were here for.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's beautiful. You know, I think knowing your purpose, knowing why you're here, you know, then just making a paycheck.
Yeah, bro. Hard out.
You know, like I think we've been there and done that.
Yeah.
You know, and we've known what that does.
Yeah, hard out, bro.
So what is the space? What is the purpose?
The purpose?
You believe that you're in now?
Yeah. For me, I think coming from a pretty rugged upbringing, at the time I thought it was actually normal, bro. It wasn't until I sort of learned that I was a statistic and sort of the upbringing that I sort of got brought up in. But pretty much like a lot of young people that get brought up in broken homes, you sort of, that's the sort of understanding, or not even knowing the why, the how, but navigating life, but using all those lessons from just a young Taz to where I am now. I'm very grateful that the path that was carved out for me, I was able to take some lessons on the journey, bro. So my purpose is actually to support Te Nawhi, specifically young men, bro, that had similar upbringings, but it's probably instilling hope in them, and just myself reflecting the life I live now to where I've come from is probably my biggest tool, bro, is my testimony. Yeah, and just living the honest and most truthful life I can. It's not easy, don't always get it right, but it's just learning to always get up again and learn from those lessons. So yeah, I believe I'm here just to instill hope into young men, let them know that I'll always highlight and showcase their strengths. A lot of young men always get reminded of their faults and weaknesses, and I sort of like to be the percentage or the contribution or the contributing factor in instilling hope into them, bro, into themselves really. Especially young Māori men. Yeah, I believe that's my purpose on this earth, bro. Yeah.
Te toko, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think it's definitely a light bulb for me, and it's definitely something that I'm very passionate about, our young tani. But I think, first and foremost, I'm passionate because I was that young tani that didn't know where I was going,
Yeah, bro.
didn't have it all figured out. Bro, I still don't,
Kia ora.
you know, but I think with some sort of guidance would have definitely benefited the adult men now.
Yeah.
If I had that. So, yeah, being able to, I guess, shed some type of light for them, bro,
Yeah,
is me.
bro. Yeah, hard.
You mentioned similar upbringings. What exactly are you referring to? As in
upbringings?
As in childhood, or
Yeah.
in similarities with our young tani?
Yeah, I think I realised I was in my workspace and we were sort of sharing stories around the office about some of the things that happened as children growing up. And then I brought up a conversation where I remember as a young child, myself and my older brother, we would always protect our mum. Our dad was a really violent man. It was crazy, bro. We were brought up in church. Church on Sunday, but through the week, it was everything but church, bro. So, you know, and there was a lot of animosity, there was a lot of anger towards my father until I become a father myself, and then so I'm angry at the presenting issues that my father did to my mum. You know, that's what I could physically see, how he treated my mum, which was, and to be honest, all he knew. He had passed away, and then a lot of the stories come out about his upbringing. He lost his parents when he was really young. He really didn't have a father figure. He was raised from his older brother, and there was just a lot of abuse happening with this young man. So me understanding now was like he did the best he could with the life that he was given. So I could have continued on that cycle and continued down the path. Like I'm definitely not perfect, bro. I've had my fair share of learning how to navigate life, but I sort of come to a point in my life where there was actually a lesson for me just to empower me to change. Like, man, my poor man, and I forgave him, bro. You know, I forgave my father, although he wasn't here physically. I forgave him in waidua and spirit, not just for his sake, but for my sake to move forward. And it was probably more so the fact he didn't have anyone there for him to sort of guide him and navigate himself into him being the man he was. So, in honour of my father, I understand my purpose, if that makes sense. So it's literally taking a situation that a lot of people will probably experience and just continue the cycle because it's all they know. But for me, it's taking that and actually breaking the cycle to honour my father. And that's probably why I've got such a passion to help young people, bro. It's because me, myself, I was raised the way I was, very violent home. You know, and just an example, full on protecting our dad, like as a young 7-year-old and 9-year-old, my older brother, literally being her body armour just to stop the old man from smashing her head in. And we're taking the hits for our old lady, and then we'll take the hits, and then my older brother running down the room, getting the iron, swinging it like a helicopter, coming back to smash our old man with that. Like that, that was a normal sort of everyday afternoon, survival mode. But looking back now, at that time, pretty traumatic. But it was our normal. We didn't know anything different. But all I knew growing up was to always protect women, bro. Yeah, just because I was always protecting mum growing up and trying to protect her from the physical abuse Yeah, so definitely I know families that would continue on that pattern. For me, it actually for me, I took it the other direction. Yeah, nah. Promise, never ever had a woman in my life. Today I can guarantee that I've never had a woman in my life because, refused to because of that factor, bro. Seeing dad sort of doing that, and of course he didn't have the sort of the guidance or the mentorship, bro. Yeah. Yeah. So big healing for me, but then it's the give back. It's not just about me healing and forgiving dad for myself, but then continuing on the work and turning everything that was really taumaha, really dark, really mamai into transforming all of that, and then giving back with healing, bro. Aroha, love, yeah. So that's the depth of everything that sort of drives me to do what I do in this day and age.
That's beautiful, bro. I think the sad truth is, within our culture, that kōrero is
All too common, eh?
all too common.
All too common, bro. Yeah.
You know, and I guess being a tāne and a man, you know, to stand up and to even be able to say that, bro. You know, you haven't touched a woman, bro. Now that's mana.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
You know, you've done this, and you've specced all these fellas out. You know, that's cool. Or you're tough, but have you never hit your missus? You know? Well, then you know that's a different type of staunch. You know, because that takes us a different type of regulation from monkey see, monkey do. What you've seen your whole life to unlearn that habit or behaviour and change that cycle. You know, as a man of 5 daughters now, you know, it's something that I hope to inspire young tāne of how to be, how to treat a woman. You know, at the same time, you know, like for my children, how to treat a man.
Yeah.
But it's an all too common thing in our culture, and you know, one day I got to let my daughters go.
Yeah,
you know, it's same for yourself. You know, and it's the last thing you want to let them go to. You know.
Yep. Yeah, hard up, bro.
So how many tamariki you got, bro?
7. Yeah, 7 kids, bro. Number 7, mokopuna on the way.
What's their ages?
Yeah, oldest, haven't got a actual relationship with him, but amazing young man, bro. I've always sort of supported him from the back line, but he's got his papa, and he's 30 this year, bro.
If there was, before you go on to your other tamariki, if there was something that you would want him to know, what would it be, bro?
Yeah, I think I've probably... Yeah, I've let him know I'm proud of him. Definitely proud of him, but one thing I want him to know is that when he's ready to understand his whakapapa from his biological father's side, it's here. Yeah. It's here. It's literally that. My passion to learn and understand all my different tribal affiliations and international affiliations within my whānau that create who I am today. The mahi I do in that space is actually driven from, I understand, I know the mahi my elder son does. He's beautiful kai whakairo. He's a graduate from Te Puia, Māori Arts and Crafts Institute, so his journey is going to lead him this way one day, and when he does, all of who he is available to him because it's his. So if that's one thing I want him to know, is that. Yep.
It's beautiful, bro. Oh, beautiful. So the other babies.
Yep. So Vision, my big girl. So it's my oldest boy then my next 2 girls, Vision and Des. They'll be Vish will be about 27, Des is 25, born 2000. Comes down to my next two boys, Iru's 20, then Cedric, he's 16, my girl Bonnie. Bonnie will be, she's 11, yeah, Bonnie's 11 now. And then my baby boy Gairako, he's 2 on Friday.
No, look at Father's gone fast.
Bro, 2 on Friday, bro. Yeah, but yeah, he's definitely my they're all precious to me. Like I've got obviously with the 6 that are sort of engaged in my life, definitely got some amazing. I love my relationship with all my kids, but baby is sort of, he's the one that really settled me and grounded me and sort of given me. He's got me at a good time of my life. So he was a bit of a journey with all my other kids, but and it just sort of goes to show with the type of relationship I sort of have with all my kids. Yeah, the individual relationships is pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, how would you say, because there's a big age gap.
Yeah.
How would you say your fatherhood, your parenting was?
From my eldest to now, yeah, bro. So 15, I was 15 when I had my eldest child. So that was 15 when his mum conceived, and I was 16 when he was born. Huge, still a baby, bro. You know, I literally still didn't even know what I was up to for life. To now, so being a father from the age of 16, and I tell you, I pretty much wasn't a father. Still trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. To having my baby at 44 years old, and my daughter's telling me, "Dad, stop having kids." But yeah, huge learnings and lessons, and it sort of makes me, actually miss a lot of. Now I'm spending time with my baby, so much time. I understand now how much I missed out with all my other kids, bro. And that come down to, I was married quite young as well. And I took on the role and responsibility as a husband, very. The husband's there to work, protect, and I did that pretty staunch. But me being away there was no balance, bro. So me being away, working, just a workaholic, and just sort of leaving mum home to take care of the kids and take care of the bills and everything. That just was way out of whack. Quite a young married couple, and taking that leadership, definitely sort of pushed us into spaces which caused a separation, bro. Yeah, which is good for me. Like I say, I take everything. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't have ended up in another spot. Which everything sort of happens for a reason or season, and no regrets, bro. Because I'm living the life I am now. Yeah. That's why I always think. I always get the questions, man. Do you sort of bum out that you're with? No, I don't bum out at nothing. I've got no regrets with any decision I've made in my life. How my life has navigated itself in this world it's just how it's meant to be.
I think that's a beautiful way to live, though.
Yeah,
I think that way of thinking on the other side with regrets, it can you can backfall very quickly.
Hard up,
You know, and get stuck in a ripple of some bad thoughts. You know?
Yeah, hard up. And being in those spaces many a times, is just a young Māori man trying to navigate and find his place. But coming out of it, it's mean, bro. Yeah, and you know what? There's more to come. You know, I'm still gonna get challenged, bro. But now the experience is just, when you learn and you've been through enough, you know when to choose your battles, bro. And most of the time, it's stuff that you can literally just regulate and just water under the bridge, bro. Is it worth it? Nah. Been there. I know the triggers. I know where this is headed. Nah, just adjust and keep moving. Yeah, bro.
No, there's choice, bro. I think there's a lot of tani out there. I think we've all been shown what it looks like to be a man. I think go out there and work hard. You work hard. Oh, you don't do 60 hours, but you ain't a man.
Yeah,
And all
right.
that, all that type of stuff. Oh,
Yep.
do you have sick days? You're not a man. And I think. So I think I got a different whakaaro, especially now.
Yeah.
It's I
Even
think presence is everything.
yeah, bro. Even that type of work, bro. Like, I never thought I would have worked in a space where I work now. Like, for me, as a man, it was like working in an office was not. That was not. That was my whakaaro. That was my thought. My thought was literally you have to be on your feet for 12 hours a day, sweating, covered in dirt, blood on your hands,
Needle high vis,
Yeah, needle hivers, and to me that was
still caps.
mahi protecting, or that's how you provide for your family. Now I'm sort of the age I am now. There, I just sat there and I go, man, it's pretty hard on myself to put that expectation on myself because no one put that on me. I put that on myself, bro. And it was just.
You don't think that it was influenced anywhere?
I definitely, for me, because I dive on one hana, bro. Like, and as a young man, definitely in the church, whenever, like, you've got a baby on the way, you're getting married, you need to get a job. So, yep, you need to provide, you need to protect. Yep, cool, I got this, boom. And then wondering why the marriage failed when I felt like I was upholding my end of the deal, bro, you know what I mean? And then being shocked at the end, like, hey, bro, but I'm doing exactly what the brief is. I'm doing, not understanding that, but that was all part of the learning, bro? Yeah. Definitely influence from, and peers, you work with brothers, bro, and then sort of in the work scene, bro lifted 6 sheets of jib by himself, and you're like, hey, you reckon you can do? Yeah, I'll give it a go. Watch this. And just that all the ego stuff, but you got to go through it, bro.
You have to, you
Hard
have
up.
to.
Yeah.
I definitely in a space where I'm now, and how I mahi now, like I'll mahi if I need to.
Yeah.
If it needs to be done. But
Yeah, bro.
I got nothing to prove.
Hard up, bro. Yeah.
And I think we, as young tane, we get into the workforce and nearly break our back for someone else's whakaaro.
Yep.
For someone else to say, yeah, you're a good worker.
Hey, number here, bro. Hey, you just a number.
That's it.
Yep.
As long as I know that, like, if I go home and I've put in a good day's mahi, honest mahi, then all good.
Yep.
And I think that's still going on. But as I said, bro, I think you got to go for it.
Yeah, bro.
You have to go through it. You have to go through that little stage to realise that, it's just, regardless if that guy's working harder than you or you're kicking back, you're getting the same money, bro, and you're going home. You're like, so
definitely being smarter. Yeah.
Looking after our body, what does that look like? Why do we have to wait till we're 60 or 70 to start going,
everything collapses?
Let's look after our body now.
Yeah. Even even just learning to regulate, bro. So some of the young fellas I work with, and I share with them that, bro. Like, I share them realities, especially if they're just leaving school, on a work ready program or looking for work. A big part of the work I do in that transition is telling them what really goes down, and I tell them, share with them about self-regulating. Young people don't know much about. We don't get taught it, bro. So in the workspace, I'm like, and my example I use, especially to a lot of young people, is, bro, do you know much about self-regulation? They're like, no. And I go, well, just imagine you're a Coke bottle. How much times am I going to shake it before I take the lid off and you explode? And he goes, oh, yep. And I go, and I share with them in workspaces, you're going to get challenged like that. I've been to so many and worked in so many spaces where I've seen men lose their jobs, bro, because they didn't have the tools to self-regulate. And these are men with whānau, bro, in the world we live today, where, it's hard enough sort of just getting on with a day-to-day job or losing a job and providing for a family and the extra stress on top. So these are some conversations I have with a lot of our young fellas, bro, just to keep them aware. And they'll definitely go through it how they go through it, like you've got to, but I'm always just giving them a heads up and just going, and then sort of sharing with them or helping them to figure out what would you do in a situation if someone was shaking you, like as a bottle, like put the ball back in their court, walk away, cool, yep, gonna see anyone, probably my boss, cool, let them know, yep, cool. And I go, it's probably not going to happen when it goes down, you'll probably smack them over or something, bro, but yeah, the best thing to do is understanding that when you're in these spaces, and it's normal, everyone's going to get challenged, it's life. Hey.
As you said though, you got to go through those circumstances to realise, but if finding that self-regulation, what does that even look like, bro?
Yeah, harder.
You know, and I think for a man that's been told he's got to provide, he's got to protect, and then something, you know, comes up against his mana, you know, it's the natural, first thing, very natural. You know, I guess we don't need to be taught to be staunch. That's natural. You know, but I think, as you said, you know, regulating and being, I guess the word is softer, being a little bit softer in our emotions and our emotional literacy. Not even the word soft. It's just it's a world that's unknown.
Yeah, bro.
It's something that I actually want to bring up with my workplace, saying that in the construction we go through our SWPs, our JHAs, our safety work practices and stuff like that, and our hazards but for some reason along the way as men we've put up our barricade and put a no access sign when it comes to our emotions.
Yeah, bro.
You know, and we've just never gone there. You know, so the hardest workplace, no matter what site we go to, and all the sites we've been at, is the one in here.
Yeah, bro.
You know, we could take that barricade off and that no access sign and actually go in there and do the mahi in there.
Yeah, bro.
I think the world will be a better place.
Straight up, bro. Know? Yeah, definitely.
Not just within yourself, with others around you. You know, everyone will reap the fruits of yourself. You know.
Yeah, hard up, bro. Yeah, that's a big. That's a lot of mahi. I'm loving doing at the moment, bro. It's just awareness, eh? That's all it is. It's the sparking a conversation, because it's not a conversation that's brought to the table much. Self-regulating. Hey, what's that? Hey, bro. You know, and it's.
I'll have a one-on-one then.
Yeah. What did you say? Next minute. But yeah, it's trying to pull everything out of the shadows, bro, and shine light on it, eh, bro? That's what it is for us as men. Yeah, and cool thing is it's just the cool thing with the mahi I'm in at the moment. It's I'm not attached to it, bro. Now I'm just planting seeds, bro. Whether they take it on or not, but you know, you have a conversation with anyone and instill hope in them, bro, and they can act like they're not listening, bro, but words are penetrating, bro. They're going deep, and that's sort of the space I like to be in. Very optimistic, and I just sit there, I go, cool, the seed's planted. You know, I'm probably not going to be there to see the fruits, but it doesn't matter, I've done my job. Hey, bro.
There'll be a day. There'll be a day that young man that
comes back around.
That quarter will stick with him. It might be 5 years from now. You might sit there and you might go to do something and go, oh, that guy Taz, he said this. Oh no, I'm going to do this. You know? Yeah. And I think that's a good whakaaro to have in knowing, just planting seeds, eh?
Bro, got to, bro. Because there's a lot of people that sort of do mahi and expect to reap the fruits, eh, bro?
Yep.
You know, there's an expectation, and that's why I say, yeah, with me, there's no expectation. I understand my job's actually just to plant the seed and instill a bit of hope. Cool. You know, and then that's me out of there, and just let them navigate life, and I'm, like I said, very optimistic. I just go, yep, one day it'll reveal itself, and when it does, pai, my mahi's done. If I'm there or not, pai, the mahi's still there to be, or the seed's still there to be sown, bro.
Well, with that type of mahi, It's it can be heavy,
Oh, yeah,
you know, with our rangatahi, things that happen in our community, etc., etc. How do you find balance, or how do you
To regulate it, yeah, or sort of balance that out.
how do you find time? Because you giving you, yes, that's your mahi, but you giving you, that's got to drain from the cup. It's got to take from the cup.
Yeah,
So where do you go to refill that?
to refill it, yeah. Yeah, another cool thing is, us as Māori, bro, we're so lucky. We've got so much natural elements around us, our pūtaiao, to draw, to refill the cup. For me, it's mahi toi, bro. It's anything to do with our Māori, bro. With out there collecting driftwood from the beach, everything's got a kōrero, up in the bush, making different type of taonga, bro, with kōrero behind them. I'm so grateful in the workspace I'm at the moment. It's ongoing, bro. So just as much as I'm sort of emptying my cup, I'm filling it just from the people I mahi with every day, bro. So I'm really fortunate. But the other thing, you can't see it now, bro. My maunga pūtawaki looks down on me every day, bro. So I wake up to the karaua there, you know, and just acknowledging whā and source the energy from him every day. So they're very, very, very important. Probably because I'm older and I understand now that, yeah. So, and I don't take on stuff, and I think it's just something, just experience. I learn not to take on the stuff personally. You can't in this mahi, because it's too taumaha. There's so much and a lot of people. But for me, it's just, once again, being very surrounded by an amazing team, and come from an amazing community of kawerau, bro. Yeah. So that's how I sort of balance that. Supervision's good in the space too. So that helps as well, bro. Yeah.
So te ao Māori, is that something that has been with you your whole life? I guess it's been with you your whole life, but is it something that you have embraced your whole life?
Yeah, my whole life I can't really remember not being immersed. I remember being probably three or 4 years old doing my first haka to my great grandmother and my kuia, bro, from Kohanga, you know. And just before I went to perform it, I remember my mum going, boy, even though it's just nan and kuia, you give it your all. If it's just two of them, you give it your all every time you do haka. So that instilled in me as a young man, and getting the okay from mum. You know, I was always protecting mum, so, you know, hearing that, I got you, mum. Yeah. So te ao Māori, yeah, and my probably later years, I've always done haka, kapahaka, growing up, but probably I've learned how to transition and learn the power of pūrākau and the power of understanding how connected we are as Māori and just living it, bro. Yep, that's my everything, bro. Te ao Māori, because it's a pool of knowledge that, bro, it's never ending, bro.
If there was someone out there that maybe just starting the journey, or
Yep.
feels like they're starting to get a pull or towards te ao Māori and that side, because it's not as common as we'd like it to be, hope it to be. Yeah, what would you say? What would you say to them that might want to look into
starting on their journey? Yep, of reconnecting. Most of all, just be Māori, bro. And what I mean by just be Māori is there's no expectation of anything other than and I'm talking about someone who's been disconnected their whole life, and if one day they understand or learn about their river, just celebrate it. Celebrate every small thing. There's a saying. I think it was Māori. You may not know your mountain, but your mountain knows you. Hey,
Yep.
you may
I did
not
see
know
that.
your river, but your river knows you. You may not know your marae, but your marae knows you. Just know that when you're on your journey, that you are known. You are somebody, and one day the puzzle will fall into place. Even with reo, a lot of people have an expectation. There's got to be this or that. Your reo's got to be this. There's a responsibility of this, and everything comes in stages. It's just according to where you are in your life. But the cool thing, I'll tell you what, I'm still a baby in understanding te ao Māori, but what I am confident in is navigating life. I'm always going to look to some of our old stories, Burako, to empower me to move forward, because it's been done. Our ancestors have proven it to be done, so we just trust that they navigated it then, and it's empowered me, or the characteristic or whatever has inspired me, that if they can get through that, I can get through it, navigating the world I'm into now. And for us as Māori, we definitely very resilient, bro. Yeah, especially the world we're in now. Just be Māori, bro. Just be yourself. Yeah.
For some people they might see this, bro, then like, what is that?
Yeah.
Hey, I think there's a lot of people that are like, I know for myself, growing up in Australia, I wouldn't say I didn't know what Māori was, but I was very, very unknown. It was a yearning it was a feeling of something missing. And it wasn't until I came home, and it's actually a beautiful kōrero, bro. I came home and my koro, he showed me a rangatai pa. We walked around, and then I was talking to him about pepeha. And as a 31-year-old man, bro, now 34, I was 30 actually, I was 30. I asked him a question on my pepeha, and he got up, bro. He was sitting down, and he got up. He goes over with his walking stick, bro, and he points at tāwhiwai, and then he sees his whole pepeha, and he's like, "This is yours." And from that day, I remember getting in the car, and tangiwe to, right? Just and ended up crying, and it was a feeling that you couldn't buy.
Wow.
You couldn't buy that. I couldn't. No matter how many hours I had worked at mahi, I could not buy that. And from that day, I had a sense of belonging.
Yep.
A sense of identity, a sense of tiranga waiwai connection. And ever since then, I think I've been able to walk with clarity.
Yeah, bro.
So I think if there's anyone out there that would see this and thought, oh, should I learn about my Māori side? Definitely.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, because I think growing up in Aussie, very, not Pākewhai, but just unknown, a different life to te ao Māori, that world. Yeah, and then since coming home, it's been not just something that I've been able to embrace, but something that I've been able to now pass down
To your babies,
yeah, to our babies,
bro.
And in hopes that even if it was just kapaka or waiata,
Yep.
it's something that now and to see them. I remember going to watch my daughter, her first kapaka, down in, on the way to a Pōtiki. I forgot exactly where it was. And I was seen up on stage and far out. That was my maite, beautiful. Yeah, and I realised that you can't buy that stuff.
Yeah. No, that's powerful, bro. That's what it's all about. That sense of belonging. That's it right there, eh? No matter who you are or where you're going. I've worked in tourism I've got a little bit of experience in tourism and a lot of visitors from around the world that come to Aotearoa when I understand exactly what that is, bro. Us as Māori, to be able to sit there and stand and share our pepeha, literally acknowledge our maunga, our awa, everything in and around that, to someone from the other side of the world, it's just mind-blowing. You can connect back to a mountain.
But what would you say if someone was to ask you what is Māori? Not who is Māori, or like what is Māori?
Yeah. What is Māori? Māori is everything in and around you, bro. Yeah. We are the mountain. We are the river. We are the forest. We are our native birds, our insects, everything in and around us. He orite, we're all the same. We're one. We're not separated from our natural environment. We are our natural environment. Yeah.
No, it's beautiful, bro.
Yeah. That's definitely the easiest way to explain it. Yeah.
Or when you mentioned Putuaki, and it's cool. It's cool because I sit in front of my maunga every day
Yeah,
too.
bro, yeah.
And for a Māori to Māori, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Because that mauri is something that I can't get from anywhere else. We can go and get energy drink or something from the shop to give me a boost. If you really just sit and embrace nature, or the land, you can draw some energy, some mauri from there.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's all around us, eh? And sometimes it's just get rid of the irrelevant noise. Definitely the orals there. Yeah, bro.
Oh, beautiful, bro. Well, we'll just have a quick intermission, eh?
Yep, sweet.
Yeah, let me relax.
Seen these before, bro?
No.
Yeah, tingo tēnei taonga puro titi. Hear the sound? So this, the oro of puro titi, when mama's a hapu, bro, played over puku, when baby's inside puku.
Wow.
And when babies are newborn, played over baby, bro. The reason you do that is because, you've had heaps of kids, bro. And when they want to check on baby and they put the sound on her, on mama, on her puku, and you're gonna hear that. These are sounds or oro that babies used to hearing when they're inside the kōpua, bro, in the womb of mum.
Wow.
Yeah. So these were those sort of traditional taonga. Some of the stuff I make here, bro.
No, it's beautiful, bro.
But I, and that kōrero was given from an amazing brother, fella Jerome Taonga Puoros is, he's tohuna ia, bro. He's the man, bro. But it's all about different taonga puoro. It's a lot of our natural or traditional musical instruments. Yeah. The beautiful thing about taonga puoro, the takeaway that I learned from the brother was, you'll never be able to master it, bro. You'll always see a master pianist, a master guitarist, even a singer. But taonga puoro, he reckons he's picked up a kawawa. I'll just grab some of these, so. He's picked up a taonga puoro after 20 years and got a new sound from it. So, yeah, you'll never be able to master it, bro. Kawawa rākau tēnei, bro. So obviously it's made out of rākau. This one's made out of a horomanga manuka, bro. I'm gonna pitch whalakau. Meant to harvest some to make us bit of fencing and bit of leftover, bro. I ended up making ko wauwau out of it.
So manuka tree.
Yeah, yep. So from the horomanga, manuka, and even these. First time you seen ko wauwau and heard them, bro. So this is ko wauwau rākau, ko wauwau wheu, because it's made out of bone. But it even goes more than that. Each of these holes have a different name, and they're the name of Maui, the eponymous ancestor, fished up the North Island. They're named after his couple of his brothers anyway, bro. Maui Mua, Maui Roto, Maui Taha. Those are the three.
So say that again?
Maui Mua, your first hole. Maui Roto, the middle one, and Maui Taha, the third one. Yeah. And if you pick up a ko wauwau, and this is the only sound you make, pai. It's still a oro, still a sound, still a vibration. There's no expectation on how it should sound. If that's where you are, pai tera, that's where you are. So that's cool, eh?
That is cool. I like
so
that.
If you picked that up, have you played ko wauwau before?
I've got one at home. I'll give it a go. Eh?
Yep, have a try with that, bro. So
It's a very wide opening.
whatever sound you make is what it makes, bro. Pai tera. He oro tera. Yeah, that's the sound. That's the sound. That's a sound.
Beautiful.
I can get on this in 20 years and then pull another sound out of it. But the beautiful thing about Tonga Puro, or another passion that I'm into, is just the natural sounds from our natural environment. But most of all, it'll never be mastered, bro. And look at that. It's just like playing a game you can't clock. There's just always something to learn.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's that cool thing about expectation, not having an expectation on how it should be played. That if I pick this up and this is the only sound I make, pai tera, it's still a oro, it's still a vibration, it's still a sound. Yeah, this is the stuff I use when I work with young fellas, bro, because there's no expectation. So when they play that and that's all they get out, they laugh at themselves. They go, "Oh, I can't do it." And I go, "No, who said you can't? You still made a sound, bro." Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful, bro. Yeah, I like that.
And probably another, so the kōrero behind where ko wauwau got its name, it's called te auau o te kuri i te pō, the barking of the dog at night. So if you've ever walked the streets at night and you hear all the our tipuna in old times, same thing. Man's best friend was their kuri, and then when their kuri will pass, to hold the memory, or the memory of their best friend, they'll turn them into ko wauwau. Ko te auau o te kuri e te pō. Yeah, so pretty mean. I have fun with the young fellas, bro. I get them to play this bone one. They put it in their mouth and I go, "Hey, be careful with my koroza, man." And they're like, "Hey!" So, nah, it's only a lamb shank, sorry.
Good.
Yeah. So some of our taonga, that's only a lamb shank, bro. I try to have a blast at.
Did you have a little tutu?
Oh, yep. I still, it's quite thin, so I've still just shaped out some markings in there. Yeah, tutu, bro.
Nah, it's still beautiful, bro. And the one that's sitting on your neck, bro. Oh, bro.
Yep, taura hui tēnei. Yeah, I'm really fortunate. The mahi I work in, and all the stuff is part of our therapeutic, clinical. You know, there's clinical excellence, but a lot of people don't realise that i roto I te Māori, we've got an excellence just for us being Māori, bro. So it's, and a lot of healing spaces or therapies I use is literally this. This one here, Taura Hui. Without going too deep, have you heard of, do you know much about the separation of rangi and papa? That's our creation story. Yeah.
Not so much, but share it.
Yep, I'll share a very brief 101 version, because there are many versions across Aotearoa they differ between each iwi and hapu. This one I'm going to share from my tūhoi whakapapa. Rangi papa, beginning of time, they were as one. In between them they had over 70 children, tāne, they were all tāne.
Wow.
Then one day they all had probably the first whānau hui ever documented in history, where all the children got together, and there was a discussion about separating mum and dad because they were all cramped up in there, but tight. And then some of the siblings agreed to the separation, others didn't. They were quite happy being in that space. Anyhow, cut a long story short, Tāne Mahuta, Atu o te Ngahere, or God of the Forest, was commissioned to separate mum and dad, which he got on his back and put his feet against the chest of his father and kicked up, and then the separation process happened. And ka puta ki te ao marama then became the world of lights, and then from that space he created many things. But during that there was a huge rumble between all the siblings, because some were keen and some weren't keen, and once the separation happened there was just a big fight amongst the Ngā Atua Māori, or the Māori gods. Through that fight, heaps of the land shaping happened, the shaping or forming of our gullies, mountains. But during that fight, there was a deity, her name was Hine Pute Hui, a female deity. She had come into that space and literally absorbed all the negative energy into herself. And when she done that, she ended up into the shape of a hui, or a good. Once she's absorbed all the negative energy and the fighting and the battle into herself, in this space, she transformed it all, and then brought everyone back to tau, settled down, and they're like, hey, what's happening? Then they looked at her, and so she absorbed all the negative energy, took it into herself, transformed it, but she didn't hold it there, she gifted it back out. And then that's where the transformation come out, the healing. So Hine Pute Hui, she's sort of like a female deity to our Atua Rongo, which is sort of acknowledged as sort of the Atua of peace, cultivation. She's sort of like the female deity to him. The lesson we learn with Hine Pute Hui is, even in the midst of darkness or wrath or anger, we still got that auntie that can just step in and go, but pull everything back in, but not even just absorb and sort out the situation, but look at that, with all the ugly and hara and battle that the brothers were, and it was the Atua Māori rumbling each other. She took that all into herself, all that negative energy, and she didn't just give it back, but she transformed it and turned it into positive, healing oro, healing vibration, and she gave that back out and settled the war, the battle between Ngā Atua Māori. Yeah. A lot of our pūrākau or stories, it's the female deities or deities that create the balance. Yeah, one of them. So yeah, everything has a kōrero, or everything has significance in te ao Māori. It's not there just to exist. It's there with purpose.
Everything has a story.
Yep. And the story will always come back to purpose on why it's relevant. all the stuff here is what helps me to help others, bro. And that's what I mean about utilising, and that's what Te Ao Māori means to me, is because through a lot of these helps me to give direction to a lot of our young fellas, and they go, hey, where'd you get that story from? Oh, who told you this? It's carved in, it's in our veins, bro. Yeah, it's everything we come from, all the kōrero, yeah. So from children's birth to man's best friend to transformation and change, positive change, yeah. And that's Te Ao Māori, bro, yeah. A few little things.
You know, or not just our, you know, I guess, instruments that you would call healing, you know, even our instruments that we have give us healing, eh?
Hara, bro. Yep, and that's why I think, yeah, that's why we're pretty mean musicians, bro. Funny thing is, there's a lot of research that supports. You're talking about healing frequencies, your 512 hertz or 438 hertz, all these different frequencies that are being sort of studied and proven.
Yeah, I actually seen one today. It was like I think it was like 513 hertz, bro, and it was like a healing realm of a sound that was just the same sound. You just it just played continuously for however long you needed to heal.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and I guess healing, or the sense of a sound wave.
Yeah, bro.
It's crazy what they can do. You know, but I guess we've all sort of experienced it. Like, you put a song on, and a song can make you feel a certain way. You could be so sad, and then all of a sudden you're so happy. You could be so happy, and then all of a sudden you're so sad.
Yeah, bro.
You know, like, music can definitely send waves through our, I guess, our ecosystem and our body, eh?
Yeah, bro.
You know?
Yeah, that's mean, bro. That's definitely, okay, here's a partai for you. Here's a question for you, bro. Do you know why birds chirp in the morning? Well, a dawn chorus. Do you know why that is?
No, but yes, but no.
Yeah, so the chirps of the birds on a dawn chorus, like early in the morning, so their mahi is to literally alert plant life to prepare themselves for the rising of the sun. We obviously know that sun provides energy or photosynthesis to allow the plants to draw that energy to grow. So that's the birds, or the manu, their mahi in the morning is literally to chirp, to waken plant life, bro.
Wow.
This guy, guys, get ready. The sun's about to shine. And then, so there, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but there was a dude who done a study. He had two identical plants in identical settings, but the difference is, early in the morning, he played to this plant classical music, but he didn't to this plant. So I was locked away in a room. They were both locked away in a room, so he was consistent, played classical music to this plant, and not this one. This one just thrived, like, compared to this one. So the reason he did that study was to prove that the frequency in classical music is the same frequency as the bird chirps in the morning.
Wow.
Crazy, eh?
It's beautiful work. Like, you know, it's, I guess we all know what that sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, we've all woken up early some days and experienced the waiata of our
manu, eh?
Of our manu, eh?
Yeah. And it's all purpose. Like they literally, and the thing about that is, yeah, and it makes you feel a certain way, especially when you're walking in the forest, bro, and listening to our native birds. It makes you feel a certain way, and the reason why you feel that certain way, it's because of the frequency of their classical music, bro. It's the same thing. Some people probably won't get that same feeling from classical music, but really, that's why you feel so, yeah, one of the many factors when you sort of listen to our manu in the forest. Yeah, bro.
When it comes to the forest, well, even with your mahi, bro, with our So we have something else on the table that's been sitting here the whole.
Yeah.
So what do we have on the table, bro?
Yeah, so this is a rau or just a branch of tōtara. Tōtara, beautiful native here in Aotearoa, obviously, but more so tōtara is my life. Just sharing the life I've lived. I relate it to tōtara because it represents resilience. Eh? One of the many things, trees grow in certain ways. If you see a crosscut of a big tree, most trees you'd see a very consistent, we call it dendrochronology. You're going to see the rings, okay? And usually you'll see a light ring and a dark light ring and a dark ring. The light ring is usually a little bit thicker than a dark ring, and that's the sort of spring period. They're going to grow a lot faster through the spring, summer. But summer, autumn, winter is sort of that darker ring. So spring, heaps of growth. The other 3 seasons, not as much growth. But you're going to see that with a normal tree. When you cross cut a tōtara, you're not going to see nothing, bro.
Wow.
It's quite. They've got a very inconsistent grain. It grows against itself. Which makes it really good for carving. Why it's our number one rākau when carving pou inside whare. I'm not a kai for kai at all, but yeah, it's just some of the kōrero I've heard are very good for waka as well. One of my bros, he was one of the bus drivers. He purchased a property, rural, just out of Auckland, and a lot of the old tōtara trees were turned into fence posts, bro. That's all they were used for. Giant rākau, bro, thousands of years old, just cut up into hundreds and hundreds of fence posts. But he purchased a property, and he took a photo for me, bro, and he showed me a photo of a fence post that turned itself back into a tree. Bro, if that's not resilience.
Wow.
Yep. So that's why.
Oh, that's crazy.
Nah, it's just a makeup of the DNA of the rākau, bro. Yeah.
Because all was planted back in, even though it just looked like timber, in the inside of the rākau, there must be these.
Yeah. So it's so the property inside of the tōtara tree, it's called tautrol, bro. So scientists gave a name to it, and tautrol is what gives it its resilience, and it can literally, look at that, bro. From a big tree, you've seen the giants up there, cut into a fence post that's just been used as a fence post for generations, and then one day just grew branches out of it.
Yeah, wow.
It's pretty tough, eh?
That's
exactly how I want to live my life, bro.
Yeah.
That's how I go. That's why this is.
I can grow in any soil.
My type of tree. Yeah, bro.
Any soil I'm putting, I'll grow.
Bro, chop me up, turn me into a fence post, I'm still gonna grow my, bro.
Oh, bro, that's mean. That's
yeah,
mean.
So, but that's the same thing, eh? Te ao Māori, there's, and it's proven. You know, scientists are like doing research on it, just going, man, we don't know what it is, but it's this tautrol product that's, and for us, it's Māori. Yeah. And
well, being in touch with our rākau, you know, with tourism, how is that? You know, what do you do, and how has that benefited you?
Yeah, definitely put me on a space of sort of gratitude. It put me in a space of I was able to now immerse myself in the natural environment, our pūtaiao. And I think you asked me right at the start of our interview, like, or this kōrero, not interview, but this kōrero with what has been Māori. And that like put me right back into that space. That's why I was able to share that, because I experienced, I lived it, and I still live it now, and understand. Definitely kaitiakitanga, but my main thing is sort of just awareness, just letting whānau know, you know, just walk in the forest. You'll feel it. Hey, you've been in the forest. Yeah, you've been in the forest. You know, you feel it, and it's just telling whānau, just take your time. You know, if your land's been farmed, you know, doesn't matter if it's been farmed, whatever, if you know that's your land, and that's you know, your tipuna sort of were on their whenua, and one day you go out and you take your boots off and you walk on that in bare feet, you want to feel something that no one else is going to feel. And that's all whenua going, welcome home. Hey, you know, this is still that connection stuff. Just like when koro gave you your pepeha, that's the same feeling someone's going to get when they understand that, my koro and them were on this land, kick their shoes off, they'll walk, they'll break down too. Because it's the same thing with our natural environment. Probably just giving us those tohu or those signs like, ka pai, you home. Hey. Yeah. Happy, celebrating.
Well, being able to, because your mātauranga, your knowledge about our rākau, especially our very powerful, staunch trees. I think you have a lot of knowledge that I think, you know, a lot of us, we look at a tree and we see a tree, you know, but I think you see something else, you know. I guess with knowing a kōrero, it's different, hey?
Yeah,
you know?
Honestly, bruv, like, the biggest thing I love when I walk through Nahere is, man, if these trees could talk. Hey, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You know, just the eras they would have lived through, and the people that would have walked past and maybe brushed the. So every time I'm in those spaces, especially back up home, every time I walk past and touch a tree that's 800,000 years old, you know, I'd say, man, maybe one of my tipuna sort of come through here and
that's
just
beautiful.
Brush past it, you know. And one thing I do is I love autumn or nahuru. I love autumn up in Nahere because all our big trees are dropping their fruit, and you know, and yeah, we talk about whakapapa, like for me to eat fruit from 800 to 1,000 year old trees, and sit there and just go and still practice that, because very you know, apart from the nutrition, but it's whakapapa, bro. So I've got certain favourite trees up in the Nahere, and when it's autumn, I only eat the fruit from those trees, and I just sit there and I'm in awe, like 800 years ago, 1,000 years ago, we had whānau in here eating from these trees, and I'm just carrying on that tradition. Yeah.
What is your favourite tree?
Definitely tōtara, bro, and it's got a beautiful fruit. Yep, they're only smaller, although the trees are big, and more the berries are.
Who would have known even tōtara had a fruit?
You know, straight up.
No, I don't even know.
Yeah, and they're only little, bro, and like these giant, beautiful rākau rangatira, and then their fruits are so small, but you know, when you get them, and you're lucky enough to get them when they blow off from the tops, because you can't climb up and harvest, that's too big. But when you're lucky enough to, the Nahere will gift you some. Yeah, it's mean, bro. Humbling as. So autumn's my fave time up in the Nahere. Yeah.
What have our rākau here in New Zealand taught you?
Yeah, I think tōtara, obviously, resilience. Rimu has got its beautiful rongoa in many ways, not just the gum, but even the burning of the bark is a beautiful rongoa in certain spaces. Matai, it's all their stories, bro. Matai has got a beautiful kōrero, even utilising the gum. It was used as I hate that they call it a matai beer, but kōrero was shared that warriors used to mix the gum and drink it before they went into battle. Some say it was sort of like a Celsius, but like a Red Bull. It was a pick me up, and that's as well as papawai. Papawai was a fern, so papawai was a fern. It was like a natural steroid, bro. So when they went in, they couldn't really, and these were a lot of our fighters from up we from Papawai used to thrive up on Kainaroa, and these are some kōrero from your koro sharing with us, and it was like that. It was like a natural steroid.
Wow.
So Papawai and the gum mixture of mapai, miro, beautiful berry, beautiful fruit. Very, very lucky to sort of partake of that. Teaches heaps of lessons, but everything has its pūrākau. The miro was really very, very connected with the manu tapu a tāne, or the kereru. The kereru, because it's the only manu that can pass the fruit or the seed through its body and pass it out, or obviously shed it out on the ground. So that's why that's the sacred bird of Tāne. It can pretty much plant every of our rākau rangatira, our natural trees.
Wow.
The seed's huge, bro. And when you look at the bird and look at what they poop up, you're like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But it's the only manu that can do that. And the seeds can't germinate unless they pass through the body of our manu. So all our manu eat all the fruit, but the difference with kereru, it can literally pass every seed through it. Yeah. So that's that difference.
Okay.
Yeah. Up home, it's only for the woman. Only the woman would eat that. Men would stick to tuna, bro, eels. Yeah, that was literally set aside for our wives.
Like a delicacy, kind of.
Yeah, bro. Yep. Some iwi would allow the men to, well, even up home and just my tūhoi side, some would allow the men to just eat what was left over, but most of the time we'll just leave it for the woman. Yep.
A wahine.
Yeah. So pretty tapu, pretty sacred, their manu, but set aside for our wahine. Yep. Yeah.
Well, we talk about rongoa.
Yep.
You know, in our ngāhere. If you could describe a place for you that is medicine, whether it be for your hinengaro, your mental, your tinana, your physical, where would be your medicine for you? Where would be your healing space?
Yeah, definitely te pua tāne about Whirinaki Forest. Yep, that's what saved me. That's what brought me home, bro. Was our trees. Yeah. And I like to acknowledge good brother of mine, Himi ona Nuku. Yep, he definitely, in our Nuku whānau, he definitely guided me in that space and reconnected me back home. Yeah, bro. Yep, definitely our nahere.
When you mention that word, saved you,
Yeah.
what are you referring to?
Yeah, I think it was just in life. I think it was that sort of sense of purpose, sense of belonging. I sort of, so the mahi I do now, in supporting and young people in understanding my purpose, I know wholeheartedly that my reconnection back to our natural environment, specifically the ngahere, was really what helped me to sort of find that sense of belonging, or find that sense of understanding my purpose, really. Yeah, because it was that balance just humbled me, bro, just brought me back to boof. And then learning the stories of our giants and just sitting there going, and then applying some of the resilient stories into my own life. Yeah.
You mean giants, you mean trees?
Yeah, giants as in trees, bro.
Yeah.
Yep. So sharing early on in our discussion with how I was raised with my father and being able to pull through. To me, it's resilience. So I could connect to a tree that's going to be knocked down, split in half, turned into fence posts and still grow.
It's beautiful.
Hey, that's me. So and when I could understand through the stories and the characteristics and learning about our rākau rangatira and understanding and applying it, man, bro, I get that. Yeah, I had that in my life. But to still see them standing strong 800,000 years later, like, bro, that's hope.
Bro,
That's hope.
Bro, that's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Like, I think those words that you just said, bro,
Yeah.
that just touched me. You know, to see a rākau standing 800 years later, that's hope.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, you know, and I think for any tāne that's maybe going through a bad storm or bad weather, hey, you know,
yeah, bro.
there's hope.
Yeah, harder, bro. There's definitely, and where it's all around us, bro. We just got to take some time to, or be open. Hey, be open to look at a tree more than just a tree. We haven't even taken into or considered the elemental factors of what's happened through history with storms and everything, you know, and what could have knocked those trees over, but regardless, they still standing. Yeah, bro.
That's a good, I guess, metaphor you can use in life. You know, regardless of what weather we go through, you know, we just got to keep standing.
Harder, bro.
You know, keep standing. You know, I do believe in reflecting and dealing with through my mind, but you got to keep standing.
Yeah, bro.
Got to keep going.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, just got to keep moving forward. Haere tonu's what my moko always tells me. Koro, haere tonu. Keep going, eh? Ka pai. Yeah, harder, bruv.
So to keep going to a sense of happiness, if you were to define happiness, what would that be? What does that look like for you?
Happiness to me is, honestly, bro, laying my head at night, knowing that I gave it my best for that day, bro. That's happiness for me, with no regrets. Happiness to me is knowing that when my babies, all my children are ready to understand and learn who they are and their journey and reconnect back to te ao Māori, because I don't force nothing on my kids. Just when they're ready, that I'm prepared and I'm not going to choke and go, I don't know, that I'm ready to reconnect them back to who they are. Yeah, that's happiness to me. And them knowing that I gave it my due diligence, bro. That everything I do is inspired by each and every one of them. Yeah, harder, bruv. Yeah, that's my true happiness, bro. If it was the last time I closed my eyes, bro, and that was successful, my mahi's done, bro. Harder.
Well, and to back that up, what would you say to, are you happy?
Yeah, bro. Thriving. And in the world, very, very, very blessed. I'm thriving, bro. More than happy, beyond happy. Because I know who I am and where I'm from, bro. So nothing else nothing else would ever, no one can ever challenge or no one can even question, because I've journeyed the path I've journeyed, and I'm definitely, and there's more to come, way more to come, but today I can definitely say I'm thriving beyond happy, bro, because I wake up to that fella every day. When I'm getting ready for work, I've got 8 children looking at me, you know, that's got everything that reminds me of why I do what I do every day. I have bad days, bro. We all do, but That's how we navigated, bro.
Aye.
Hard up, bro.
Yeah, it's somewhat not about being perfect, but I think it's just about showing up in the imperfections.
Hard up, bro.
You know, regardless of
Yep.
we don't like it, we don't feel like it, or whatever's going on, of how we feel. You know, because our emotions can play a part of navigating how we do things.
Yeah, bro.
You know, so I guess regardless of how we feel, if we can just continue to show up, because some situations in life can really bring us down.
Oh, hard up, bro.
You know, but
Yeah.
and it could be a domino effect of days and days and hours of going through that process. But you know, I'm a firm believer of it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, bro. Me o hoki, bro.
You know?
Same, brother.
But it's not okay to stay that way.
Yeah, hard up.
You know.
Haere tonu. Gotta keep going, bro.
Gotta keep going. Gotta keep going, bro.
Yeah.
So if there was a young tāne or rangatahi that was about to embark on his journey and his manhood in life, he might be a young father like yourself. You know, very young.
Yep.
What's some advice you could give him, bro?
My probably biggest advice I'd give him is enjoy your journey, bro. You know, learn the lessons, but most of all, enjoy life. Yep, that's the biggest. I think we get too serious and put expectations on ourselves, and we forget to enjoy and live in the moments. Yeah, I think that will be my biggest advice to any young papa. Enjoy every moment. You only get it once, bro. There's no replays. Honestly, I'm lucky. I've got a few replays, bro. That sort of, but some people don't get the replays in life, and I'm talking about raising sons. Yes, but just enjoy every moment and learn the lessons. Yep. Don't be too hard on yourself. There's no guidebook on how to live the best life as a young father. The only way we learn is by living. Hey, bro.
By doing it, showing up, eh?
Showing up, bro.
Showing up.
Yep.
You know, some days were better than the others, but you showed up.
Yep.
Eh?
Hard up.
And that's all that matters, eh?
Just be that big tōtara still standing in that forest there, bro, in 1,000 years' time, bro. Because why? Because you just showed up, bro. That resilience factor, bro.
Well, here on Open Ends, there's no tidy endings. We leave the door open for the next thought, the next story, the next conversation. This is Open Ends. No pressure, just space. Thank you, brother.
Bro, you're really good at what you do, bro.